You're listening to Practical Biz Podcasts, serving up the fresh catch of the day. Prepare to indulge your entrepreneurial palate seasoned with the most mouth-watering practical business advice you ever tasted from business maestros who have made a splash in the industry. Your server today with over 23 years of business experience will be Erica Sacosio, straight from the heart of Rhode Island, just like our lobster. She is delighted to have you at her table. Now grab your fork, tuck your napkin into your neck collar, and get ready to dig in.
Hey guys, welcome to Practical Biz Podcast. It's Erica Sacosio, your host, and today we have Julia Krasnow from E for All program, and we're going to talk a little bit about what E for All does and how you can get involved if you're a small business owner or if you are an entrepreneur and you want to give back and become a mentor, which I am. It's a super great opportunity to work with other small business owners in your state or in your area, but we'll get into it today. So welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
So tell folks a little bit about your position at E for All and maybe a little bit about the history of E for All and what E for All even is.
Absolutely. So E for All, the E stands for entrepreneurship. We are a nonprofit organization that's actually been around for over a decade. It started in the Merrimack Valley, and it was called like the Sandbox back in the day. They rebranded at some point. But essentially, we help early stage business owners start and grow their businesses. All our programming is free, and we help them out primarily through our accelerator program as well as our community pitch contests. So we get early stage business owners involved. We get lots and lots of volunteers involved. So it's really a community-based, community-organized effort.
Awesome. Yeah. So is E for All available in all the states? Are there certain areas it's not available? So people listen to us from all over the U.S. Is there any particular areas that it's available or not available?
Absolutely. So E for All is sort of on a site-by-site basis. It's pretty geographical. So there are a number of sites throughout Massachusetts because that's where it started. So from Boston to the Berkshires to the South Coast. We are also recently launched in Maine and Low Country, South Carolina. There is a site in Northwest Arkansas and Longmont, Colorado. Rhode Island, of course. So we, here in Rhode Island, we serve only Rhode Islanders. And actually, they're about to be launching a 100% virtual program for people in, I believe, Texas, Arizona, and I'm forgetting one other place. But so most of the sites are in person to some degree. Obviously, after COVID, some of that changed a little bit. But here in Rhode Island, we only serve Rhode Islanders. That's kind of our mission here. And the same goes for, the South Coast serves a certain geographical region, the Berkshires, et cetera.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, for my friends that are in Rhode Island, I highly recommend that you check out their website. What is the website?
Yeah, so the general website is eforall.org. That's EFORALL.org. / Rhode Island to get to our specific site, but you can certainly navigate directly to Rhode Island from the main website.
Okay. So tell us a little bit about the services that are offered by the program.
Absolutely. And I neglected to mention earlier, I'm the program manager for the English programs, which is a great segue to discuss that we are a bilingual program. Not every single site is bilingual, so I do want to clarify that. But here in Rhode Island, everything that we do is offered in both English and Spanish. So along with myself, who I run the English programming, my colleague Elia Reyes is the program manager for the Spanish programming. And so together, concurrently, we are running these programs with the support of our executive director, Laura Guillen, and our program coordinator, Miriam. So the four of us together are making everything happen. So our kind of flagship main program is our Business Accelerator, and we run it twice a year. The reason we're able to do it twice a year is because technically it's a year-long program. However, it's really the first 3 months that are the accelerated business classes and intensive mentorship portion. And so we are on a winter-summer schedule. Right now, we are about 3 weeks away from concluding our summer program, and then there'll be a break in which we're doing our pitch contests and recruiting and all kinds of events and things like that. And then we gear up for our winter program. The accelerator is conducted on a cohort style basis. So if somebody is interested and wants to partake in our programming, they have to go through an application process, which we will talk about in more depth later. And we accept up to 15 businesses per cohort. And together, those up to 15 businesses, they go through these intensive classes for 3 months with us, while also concurrently meeting with a team of dedicated mentors. So those 3 months are pretty intensive, but it is free. So the way I like to say it is, we're not looking for a commitment of money or cash. We're looking for a commitment of your time and your passion. So it's definitely an accelerated experience. But once those 3 months conclude, we don't just throw them to the wind. We continue to check in with the cohort on a quarterly basis, make sure they're working towards the goals that they've set for themselves, and they also continue to meet with their mentor team once a month. So they're sort of in touch with us for an entire year.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So what I like about your program, if I understand it correctly, is you don't have to have an actual business already started.
Correct.
Right? Where some of the other programs, you have to have an actual business
Right.
started, already be established, and then they help you grow from there. So it's nice that you can have a concept of a business and then work through those phases with an organization like yourself. Tell me a little bit more, because I love the idea of the pitch contest.
Yeah.
So talk a little bit more about that.
Absolutely. So, like I said, the sort of big program we do is this accelerator. It takes a lot of, people to get it going. The pitch contests, we do those twice a year in both English and Spanish. And the pitch contests are these really fun one-night community events open to the public. And we like to call it Shark Tank, but without the teeth, because nobody's there to stump you or see if you can hack it. Really, the point is to get people who are, they think they have an idea, they're not really sure if it's gonna work, or maybe they've just launched and they're selling a product and they want to get some feedback. So it's really meant to be bringing people in, not exclusionary in any way. So similarly to the accelerator, to participate in one of our pitch contests, you do have to fill out a short application. We usually partner with some other organization to put them on. So our upcoming accelerator for English, we are partnering with the Center for Women in Enterprise.
We love them.
And yes, we do. And so this particular one is highlighting female-owned businesses. So we're super excited about that. Between the businesses pitching and anybody that we are, our photographer, food that we're bringing in, it's going to be all female entrepreneurs. So that's super exciting. And the one in Spanish, we are partnering with the city of Central Falls. So that's just a way to kind of localize it even further, support, we do these a couple of times a year, so we try to spread it around, but this one in particular, that's where they're occurring. And basically, it's a fun event. Folks will have about an hour to have an expo table, network. Even if they don't yet have, a full product line or something, it's about the experience. It's about, getting out there and starting to practice, speaking about your business. And then from there, we actually have a panel of judges, and they do a short 2.5-minute business pitch. And there's a little bit of prize money.
Yeah.
The first prize is $1,000. Second prize is $750. Third prize is $500, and then we also do a fan favorite. So the audience gets to participate as well.
That's awesome. And that just kind of speaks to some of the networking opportunities that are available through your agency.
Yes.
Can you tell us the last two winners of the pitch contest? The companies? Do you remember?
Yeah. Okay. I definitely. So for English, first prize was Charles from Nuad Single Hand Controllers, and he went on to participate in our current accelerator. Yep. So that's very typical.
Familiar with him.
people participate in our pitch contests. They decide, okay, I really want to go for this, and then they apply to the accelerator. Second prize, I believe, was Carib & Co., who has an incredible line of delicious Caribbean syrups. And she started out of Hope in Maine, so really full circle, and she's doing amazing. And I believe the third prize was for Luna Community Care, which is a nonprofit organization that supports neurodivergent adults.
Awesome. Very good. Yeah. So tell me, how do you feel like E for All can be a game changer for small businesses?
That is such a great question. And I want to call back to earlier when you said, you don't have to have a fully fleshed idea. There's really, each organization serves a particular niche. And when it comes to E for All, and when we say early stage entrepreneur, that's really, it can be from the idea conception, or maybe they just launched. A lot of times people will, they'll go down to the state house, they will register their LLC, and then they're like, okay, now what? And so that's where a place like E for All really can help you out. And I was actually speaking with a potential applicant this week, and he was like, I've applied to this other program, but you need to already have been in business for a certain amount of years. You already need to have a certain amount of income.
That's why I brought that up.
Yeah. Or like, I'm not early enough. And so some of these other programs, which are, we love to partner with other organizations that support people at different stages. Yeah. You can be, if you're really very early, if you woke up, this week and you said, I think I want to be my own.
I'm done.
I want to be my own boss. I can't,
I know some of those folks.
There's some really wonderful programs that in the state of Rhode Island to kind of help you get your idea straight.
Absolutely.
But you've got your idea straight, you're ready to take it to the next level. That's where E for All is a really great organization to step in at that time. And as far as being a game changer, I mean, there's something really unique and special about being able to dedicate this kind of time and energy with a support system. Entrepreneurship can be such a lonely road, as I'm sure a lot of people can relate to. You're singing my song,
so just keep singing. That is very true.
It can be such a lonely road. So doing it with the support of a cohort who, it's all industries, but everybody's in roughly the same place. Some people may have, they're coming in, they've registered, maybe they haven't registered, but everybody's like, how do I build this business? How do I get it off the ground? So you've got this supportive group around you. You've got the support of the E for All Rhode Island team, and we are always going to be your number one, support, your biggest fans. And then because of the nature of our organization being so community-based, the support that they get from specialists and like members of our local community really, I think, makes all the difference. So for example, sort of in the middle of the curriculum is when we start doing some of the scarier things like numbers and Excel sheets and things of that nature. So we don't hit you with that right at the beginning. We
because you want them to come back on the other weeks.
We got to get you to the point where you're like, okay, I can do this. Yeah. And we have a couple volunteers who are in the financial world locally, banks and otherwise, but they all offer their support outside of class too. Say, here's my email. I'd love to give you, an hour of my time. And that's pretty consistent across our specialists. They're all volunteers, so that's just something that the community we're building around ourselves is people who really, really care.
And it's super fun being part of that community.
Yes.
So you can be on the receiving end or the giving end. And I feel like, both are equally valuable.
Absolutely.
And both are equally exciting and fun and engaging. So I'd love to hear, maybe you work with so many amazing entrepreneurs. Can you share maybe one success story that really just sticks out to you?
Absolutely. We have several. So we are about to finish our third English cohort and our second Spanish cohort. So we're slowly building up our alumni network in Rhode Island. So one story that I always love to share is from our very first cohort. We had this absolutely phenomenal woman join us. She's a registered cosmetologist. She's, working full time at a nonprofit and doing hair on the side and other things. And her big idea was, I want to start a mobile salon. I want to go to people's houses. I want to have a truck or, a bus with everything that I need on it. But she also had like tons of other ideas. So she's like, I also want to do classes. I also want to have like a physical occasion,
multiple streams of revenue.
Which is, we love that. We never ever want to, discourage somebody from those big dreams. But what's amazing about this program, and it's not just her, I see it pretty much with everybody, is there comes a shifting point, maybe halfway through the accelerator, where they realize, I don't have to do the biggest thing in order to be a business owner. Mm-hmm. I am already an entrepreneur. And so for her, the shifting point was like, oh, I'm already doing my business. Mm-hmm. And my customers want what I'm doing. They want to come to my business because of me, because of what I can do for them. Mm-hmm. And actually what they want is to come to, the salon that I've kind of built out of the back of my home. I don't need a truck because people don't want it. And that's super important.
Yeah, as you start working with your customers, they really will help guide you into what they're interested in and what they're not. Because you can have an idea. It doesn't mean it's viable.
Exactly. Yeah. And before you go spending $15,000 to outfit a truck, being able to understand what your customers want and then realize, oh, this is actually, it doesn't mean that I'll never have a mobile truck, but maybe building my business here and now is actually what needs to be done. And so with the support of her mentors, she built out a plan to start pulling back on her full-time job and start adding more and more clients, because obviously there's that tipping point where it's like you need to be earning enough to support yourself, but it's hard to build your business when you're working full-time. It's all these things, but she had a plan because of the support that she got. And so she's still in the midst of that plan. She finished the accelerator a year ago. So she's absolutely still working on it, but she is on track. She's pulled back some from her full-time job. She's adding more clients. She renovated her studio, and I can't wait to see where she goes. She's going to be such a pillar of her community.
Yeah, that sounds great. So, as we mentioned earlier, there are lots of different programs. Can you speak to a little bit about how people can leverage the different resources, or talk to us a little bit about what you feel like makes E4All special, unique, interesting, different?
Sure. So E4All Rhode Island is a really special program. I'm really, really proud to be a part of it. And I think there's a number of things that make us unique. We work really closely with the other programs in the state to sort of what we're working on is almost forming a continuum of care, for lack of a better term. I don't think we have the term yet. But the first thing I do when I meet somebody is I ask them, what's your business idea? Where are you at? What kind of support are you looking for? Because depending on where they're at, there's so many great programs and we're not right for everybody. And that's totally okay. Our biggest thing at E4All is to make sure that you end up in the place that's correct for you. So if it turns out that E4All is the place for you, what makes it really special and unique is the community. You are given a team of dedicated mentors. And for most people, there's a lot of highlights of the program, but the mentorship relationship is really the one that kind of takes the business to the next level. And I know that you could speak to that. Because there's something really unique. There are some wonderful organizations where you can go like, I need help with QuickBooks, and you can go and you can talk to somebody. I need help designing something, go talk to somebody. But there's just something different about having somebody with you, like looking out for you and providing that.
And I think the longevity too, like you said, for a year, that's a long time. Most programs are 10 weeks. Some are 3 weeks. You go to 3 sessions and that's done. Or 12 weeks. Like a year that's a long commitment, to have that same consistent, folks in your corner. So yeah.
Yeah. So, if you're at a point where you're really ready to dig in, I think that makes a big difference.
Let me up on that though, really quick, just
Yeah.
from this side.
Yeah.
I think too, when it comes to the mentor, it's not like you guys just pick someone and go, yep, that's your guy, that's your person. So we had the nice little matching Zoom calls, like speed dating, if you will.
Yeah.
But you get an opportunity too to, as the mentor, pick who you want, and as the mentee, pick who you want, and kind of form that relationship before you even assign somebody. Yeah. So I thought that was a cool experience. And then for me as a mentor, I was able to say, wow, I can get really excited about this particular business or idea, and maybe not so much on that one, so that you can really bring your best A game too to be a mentor, right?
Yeah, because of the stage of businesses we're working in, we work with any industry. So we have 5 businesses in this cohort. Every single one is completely different from the other, but they're all in a similar stage. And the same goes with our mentors. We look for people who are great at giving feedback, great listeners, are an expert in their field, but the matching process, it's not industry to industry. Yeah. It's based on likability and time availability. And I have yet to see it not come out with great results.
Yeah, I think it's great.
It's because, if you're working with somebody for that length of time, just because you work in the same industry doesn't mean you work well together. You have to be able to, be with that person for an extended period of time.
So I would say, from my standpoint, with my interaction with your organization, that would be something that I find was different, unique, or special for sure. And shout out to my team. Now, does everybody get 2 mentors, or did that just happen because there's 2 of us in that group?
Correct. Yeah. So we make sure that everybody has the same number of mentors. Okay. This time around, it was 2. The most we would do is 3. So the more mentors we get, the more of a team we can build. But there'll never be a time where one team gets 3 and one team gets 2. We keep it equitable.
Yeah. We joke a lot in our group. Although business is serious, we do joke a lot and have a lot of fun. And somehow our team was so lucky to get 2 Italians, an Italian woman and an Italian man. And so there's lots of jokes going on about that in our group.
Team.
It is a fun team. Yeah. It's very lively, fun team.
I can imagine you and John.
Yeah, we have a great time. So talk about the application process for both the applicant side and then also for the folks out there listening who might want to become a mentor.
Yeah, absolutely. So I'll talk about entrepreneurs first.
Sure.
So if you are starting a business and you're looking for support, if you navigate to eforall.org and you go to the Rhode Island page, right on the front, you'll see either Business Accelerator, apply here, and right next to it, it says Pitch Contest, apply here. So it just depends what you're applying for. But it's pretty clear on the webpage which one you're clicking on. And when you open up our application, we have our own proprietary app, and that is where all your application information is housed. And we do a lot of other things within the app during the program. So you create a profile and you just go ahead and start filling out the application. The application asks for, some demographic data, some financial data. It'll ask you, how much have you made doing your business? It's very much okay if the answer is 0. It's literally just so we can get a picture of the stage that you're coming in at. And from there, you fill out, it's 10 questions asking you what research you've done, what's your idea, how did you hear about E4All, those kind of things. I'm always available to offer some feedback. So you don't have to just submit it blind. We are here for you from the moment you decide you want to try doing something with E4All. And then once you fill out your application, the applications close. We have community members read the applications and provide feedback. So whether or not you get into the program, you receive that feedback. And the hope is that, that feedback can still give you some direction moving forward. If you are chosen to move forward, we then have you come in for a 20-minute interview. Also, we have community members support us in that endeavor. And that's, again, just a way. Some people are express themselves better in words than in writing, and we understand that. So we just want to get to know you. And then we take all that information and we give it to our volunteer leadership advisory board. So I don't make the decisions. Good thing, because I get so close to all the applicants and I would want to accept everybody, and we literally can't. So we hand all that information off to our board, and ultimately they are the ones who decide who will get into this year's program, or this season's program, I should say. The application process to be a volunteer is far less involved. Again, if you go to eforall.org and you go to our volunteer page, it'll direct you to our app where you can apply to be a volunteer for Rhode Island. Our volunteer options range from being a mentor, which is a pretty big time commitment, all the way down to just helping us read some applications, which could be an hour. So you don't have to be, available, giving tons and tons of time. You can decide, hey, I'd like to see what E4All is all about. I'm going to read some applications, or I'd love to meet some of the entrepreneurs. Maybe I can help interview, or I'm a specialist in a particular area. Maybe they could use me as a specialist. So there's a number of ways to get involved to varying degrees of time commitment.
Awesome. For those of you who are first tuning in and have not visited our channel before, we ask that you like or subscribe, share with a friend or an entrepreneur that you know that is getting ready to start their business or needs a little help with growth. So give folks your contact information on how they can reach you. You can look right there in that camera.
That's one right here.
Yes,
okay.
Yes, ma'am.
So there's a number of ways to reach us at E4All. Please reach out to me personally. You can reach out to me with any questions you have about our programs. My email is Julia, Julia, .Krasnow, KRASNOW, @eforall.org. You can also just reach out to our general email, which is road-island@eforall.org. And that will get to anybody on the team, and we will reach back out to you. And please follow us on social media. We share a lot about our events and so forth over there at eforall_Rhode Island.
Thank you so much for being on our show.
Thank you.
Thank you guys for tuning in to Practical Biz Podcast. See you next week. Bye.
Thank you.
I hope you caught all the seasoned strategies, the success stories, and practical business advice. Subscribe now and feel free to invite a fellow foodie of entrepreneurship to join you at this table next time. Let's reel in success together. Thank you for joining your wicked smart server, Erica Sacosio, for another full course business meal from the Practical Biz Podcast.